Fox 40 News at 10 starts now.
California's historic wine country ravaged by flames. The death toll keeps climbing in what is now the deadliest fire in state history.
Firefighters making progress.
This is not a job for us. This is a passion or a calling, and we really do care about what's going on in your community.
But the threat is far from over.
Tonight, the search for survivors continues.
She was in good health, so, we're hoping she's just at a shelter that doesn't have phone service yet.
And thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Nikki Lorenzo.
And I'm Ty Steele. Let's get straight to it. Here's a closer look at where the fires are burning in Northern California. Many are in Napa and Sonoma counties. The total acreage of all these fires now topping 123,000 acres.
The death toll has climbed once again in connection to these wildfires to a staggering 31, and authorities fear that number is only going to rise as hundreds are still reported missing.
Fox 40's Sinceri Tonsel joining us live tonight in Santa Rosa, where the deadliest fire of them all is burning right now, the Tubbs fire. Sinceri, a vigil was held for the victims tonight.
That is right. Right now you can see some of the devastation behind me here in Santa Rosa. We're at the Journey's End Mobile Home Park. This is a place where many people are still searching for relatives who used to live here. And tonight, this community is trying to pray its way through this tragedy. Churches are often overflowing with emotion, but the crowd and feelings spilling out of Santa Rosa's St. Rose Catholic Church, all sparked by circumstances no one could have dreamed up and everyone wishes they could forget.
And just seeing the flames against the black sky, I'll never forget it. Worst experience ever.
Like across the freeway, you can see fires just like in smoke everywhere.
The Singletons ran from their home while the fire that did this kind of damage was spreading Sunday night. Now they know their home near Airport Road, on the border of the mandatory evacuation orders for the Tubbs fire, was spared. But Jacobs High School, Cardinal Newman, the one tied to St. Rose, was not.
We drove down the freeway to see some of the damages. You can't see all of it, but it's just devastating, even by the little we can see.
It's very difficult. Michelle Evans' daughter is now without her school as well, but the family also lost church friend Christina Hansen.
Christina, who was handicapped and didn't get out in time.
Hundreds are still unsure if their loved ones were able to escape or not. Desperate families have turned to social media to look for loved ones who once lived in places like the Journey's End Mobile Home Park, which now is just a charred pile of what was. Online, Jessica Tunis confirmed her mother Linda's remains were found in her house there. This post pleading for information about Ellen Wade and her boyfriend Joe, still among hundreds listed as missing.
This community is bonding together, and I've seen a lot of people reaching out to help each other. And I have no doubt that we're going to rebuild.
Lots of people will be looking for hope and answers here for a long time. Reporting live in Santa Rosa, Sinceri Tonsel, Fox 40 News.
Sinceri, thanks so much. And as people remember the loved ones lost, others are still holding out hope and still searching for those missing. These are the 8 of the hundreds who are still unaccounted for since the Tubbs fire exploded. Sonoma County residents and family members are desperately hoping for news of lost loved ones as internet service is scarce and cell coverage is nearly non-existent. One woman says she hasn't heard from her 75-year-old grandmother.
She was in good health, so, we're hoping she's just at a shelter that doesn't have phone service yet. I'm really, really worried. I don't want to know what life is like without her,
Again, hundreds are still unaccounted for as these fires continue to burn. And the Red Cross is trying to help those affected by the wildfires let loved ones know they are okay. They have launched what they call the Safe and Well Index. It's similar to a feature on Facebook where you can check in and let people know your status. You can let friends and family know if you're at home or if you're at a shelter, or you can look up how others are doing by searching their name. You can find all of this information on our live wildfire blog on fox40.com.
And now to another massive fire we are keeping track of, the Atlas fire. This one has charred more than 43,000 acres and is just 3% contained tonight. It's forced thousands of families from their homes and is still threatening thousands more.
But residents, they are staying positive. Fox 40's Sarah Zendenam joining us now live along Green Valley Road in Solano County. Sarah, what's the latest?
Well, Nikki, that's right. We're on Green Valley Road right now at East Ridge Drive, and you can see just behind me, the CHP actually has this part of Green Valley Road blocked off. Now, CAL FIRE says the reason why this is under a mandatory evacuation still is because there is a threat that the Atlas fire, if the winds push it south, it could really threaten this area. So just behind us here, it is still under a mandatory evacuation. Now, we've brought you stories of all of the destruction and the death, really the tragedy of the Atlas fire. But tonight we met one woman who is really being positive and trying to show a little bit of support in all of this destruction.
Is that a good spot?
In an area that's seen so much darkness.
I think that's a good spot.
Linda Shryak brings a little color.
We're all looking for ways to show our appreciation.
Appreciation for those risking their lives to protect ours.
These fabulous, fabulous firefighters and first responders who are saving our valley and our town.
Signs of support all around Napa as the haze of wildfires hang over the county. One note sums it up. The love in the air is thicker than the smoke.
It feels great. It really does make me feel hopeful.
Shryack's Napa Valley home is safe from the deadly wildfires raging in the area. But not everyone is as lucky. Hundreds of homes burned to the ground in Napa, Sonoma, and Solano counties.
It's been really scary.
In a meeting with Napa County officials, CAL FIRE says the Atlas fire poses challenges with little containment and the threat of changing winds. They say fire resources are stretched thin, but there's no doubt crews are doing everything they can to get the flames under control. CAL FIRE says that we are by no means out of the woods yet with the Atlas fire, but they say with more favorable wind conditions and also with more crews that showed up here last night, there is a possibility for that containment number to go up. In Solano County tonight, Sarah Zendenam, Fox 40 News.
Sarah, thank you. And in Fairfield, a voluntary evacuation of the East Ridge neighborhood has been downgraded, allowing residents to return to the neighborhood. But for those still needing a place to stay, 4 evacuation centers are open in Napa and Solano counties. In Napa County, there are 3 shelter locations: the Crosswalk Community Church, Napa Valley College, and the Calistoga Fairgrounds. And in Solano County, the Allen Witt Center is also housing evacuees. All right, let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Christina Warner. Christina, not much is expected to change overnight.
Yeah, that's right. Tonight we get a break from the wind, and that is good news. I wish I could say that that will be the story for the next couple of days. It, however, will not. Let's take a real quick look. And the good news is everything seems to be holding steady tonight. The only growth we've seen in really the last 12 hours was just to the south of the Atlas fire. We also saw a little bit of growth to the east of the Patrick fire, and then for the most part up near Calistoga, where we did have evacuations, that did not grow at all. Areas of yellow mean it hasn't grown in over 24 hours. The only growth happened well to the north. So right now things look steady, and it's because those winds are very, very weak. You can see calm in most locations. This is what we want to see, because you know at night it's cooler, the humidities have come up, and those winds are finally down. The problem is it's not going to last. Here's a quick look at your wind futurecast, and I'll show you tomorrow by about 3 in the afternoon, you start to see winds pick up a bit. That's something that they can certainly handle. But watch this tomorrow night. That's when the winds are going to intensify. And of course, as luck would have it, those winds are going to intensify right where these fires are. We will see them continue. We're looking at sustained winds 20 to 30 miles an hour with maybe gusts to 40 miles an hour. So that's into Saturday morning. It continues into mid-morning, and then it will finally start to drop off. So once again, another critical time period. That is going to be tomorrow night into Saturday morning.
Thanks, Christina. In Santa Rosa now, we're hearing incredible stories of survival, including one woman who saw the flames and got out on her bike. Fox 40's Nicole Comstock has that report.
3688 Mocha Lane in Santa Rosa, the bare bones of a home burned by wildfire.
You don't even see a resemblance of what it used to be.
Just one of the many addresses in this Coffee Park neighborhood where a deadly wind-driven firestorm chased people out of bed in the middle of the night on Monday.
Everything was gray, everything was destroyed, and it went for miles.
One of those stories is about a girl and her dog.
I would never part ways with my dog, ever.
And their unconventional method of getting out alive.
It's my ride or die. Oh my God, literally.
Santa Rosa Junior College soccer player Natasha Wallace was studying across town until nearly 2 in the morning. On her way home, she saw the fire from the freeway. meaning she had the perspective to know everyone needed to evacuate immediately.
So it just like ran us out of the area.
So she shoved Bentley, her 4-year-old pit bull, into her Honda and drove down the road. Within minutes, she was stuck between other cars. This one right beside her crashed and overturned.
It was coming faster than I can leave through the traffic, so I went back to the house, grabbed my bike.
She also grabbed a duffel bag, which she used as a makeshift sidecar for her 70-pound best friend.
And then I grabbed my dog, and I told him, I said, hey man, this is serious, like you need to just sit in the bag, like you gotta sit here. And he hopped right in. I held the duffel bag like this, put it over, and I rode my bike with it on my arms, and I was just pedaling like that.
She says after she made it down the road a few miles ahead of the fire, a man in a truck pulled over and took her and Bentley the rest of the way out.
And I just want to say thank you to him. It's Paul Johnson.
Thursday night, Wallace was reflecting on how lucky she was, not only to have survived the fire, but to have people around to help. 3688 Mocha Lane was her home. Everything she owned is gone, but still.
I don't know. I don't even know how to express like how grateful I am.
She's celebrating life. Thursday night, she turned 24.
70-pound dog on her bike.
Unbelievable.
That's unreal.
Amazing story.
Officials in Yuba County now say 4 people have died in the wake of the Cascade Fire, and there may be another. 2 people were discovered inside of a burned home in Loma Rica. Then another was killed after crashing their truck while trying to escape the flames. A 4th body has now been found in another home, and authorities are investigating the possibility of a 5th fire-related death. Here's a look at the affected area. The Cascade Fire started Sunday morning north of Collins Lake, and you can now see how much it's grown in just a matter of days. It's burned more than 10,000 acres and is 45% contained.
And as firefighters are struggling to get the deadly Northern California wildfires contained, you're probably asking the question, well, how did they start? Well, there were calls to emergency dispatchers and reports from firefighters about downed power lines and blown transformers. All this during high winds Sunday night. Fire investigators have not said what started these fires exactly, and they're not pointing to PG&E at this point. But PG&E has been linked to deadly explosions and a fire in the recent past. Sacramento attorney Steve Campora has recovered millions in damages from PG&E for victims of the San Bruno gas line explosion and the Butte fire.
But they don't pay attention to whether it's being applied, and they don't follow through to make sure it's being applied. And that's the history of PG&E that I know from having been involved with them for fires and explosions since 2008.
Well, PG&E is responding to this. They released a statement. Here it is. Right now we are focused on life safety and service restoration. We aren't going to speculate about any of the causes of the fires.
Well, the destruction from the Northern California wildfires is immense. The cleanup and rebuilding, it could take years.
So Fox 40, we are teaming up with the Salvation Army to help with wildfire disaster relief efforts. We held a telethon today, and you out there, the viewers watching, raised $65,000 in phone donations. Online donations are still being counted.
Truly incredible. We actually received a $5,000 donation during the final minutes of our telethon. Someone who lost family in the fire actually called in too and donated money. A huge thank you to everyone who generously donated.
Great job. And for more ways you can help with the fire victims, go to our website at fox40.com. There you can also find the latest on evacuation orders, closures related to the fires. We also have a live blog where new information is updated as it comes in.
A political showdown is brewing in California. Kevin De Leon going head-to-head with Senator Dianne Feinstein, why he's decided to challenge the long-term senator.
Plus, a new report says Russia used Pokemon Go to affect American politics, their bizarre secret mission coming up.
And bringing a moment of happiness during heartbreaking events. We'll introduce you to a local dog who's doing important work.
An American-Canadian family is now free after being held hostage in Pakistan for nearly 5 years. Caitlin Coleman and her husband Joshua Boyle were kidnapped in 2012 while traveling in Afghanistan by a terror group with ties to the Taliban. Coleman was pregnant at the time of the kidnapping, and the couple had 2 more children while in captivity. The U.S. and Pakistan worked together to successfully free the family. Well, a disturbing new report says Russian meddling into American politics even included the use of Pokemon Go. The CNN investigation says Russian agents launched a campaign called Don't Shoot Us, posing as a Black Lives Matter group. The group even started a contest that directed participants to find Pokemon locations, near locations of alleged police brutality. Don't Shoot Us also had YouTube and Tumblr accounts. Experts say the Russians' goal was to help foster a divisive political atmosphere in the U.S. Well, President Trump has signed a new executive order.
Yeah, it's another attempt to dismantle Obamacare.
Promoting healthcare, choice and competition all across the United States. This is going to be something that millions and millions of people will be signing up for, and they're going to be very happy. This will be great healthcare. So congratulations to everybody.
And here's what the measure intends to do. It wants to make lower premium health plans available to millions of Americans. The White House says this is the first step to repealing and replacing the Affordable Care Act. The House of Representatives is approving a $36.5 billion aid package to help wildfire and hurricane victims. It's intended to provide disaster relief to places hit the hardest, including Puerto Rico and Texas. It also provides nearly $600 million to help fight against the recent wildfires here in California. The Senate will decide on that bill next week.
Days after she announced her re-election campaign, Senator Dianne Feinstein could face some competition. Sources say Senate Pro Tem Kevin De Leon intends to challenge Feinstein for her Senate seat. De Leon has already started calling labor leaders and elected officials to inform them of his plans. This is all according to sources. 50-year-old De Leon represents Los Angeles and is seen as a leading Latino voice in the Democratic Party. As for when he will announce his campaign against Feinstein, that is still unknown.
Well, Senator Kamala Harris was in Stockton today, and she spoke at the inaugural San Joaquin Valley Leadership Conference. Harris briefly addressed health care and immigration topics during her speech. She said health care is a premier issue that needs to be strengthened, not taken away. She also expressed her support for fellow Senator Dianne Feinstein and her re-election campaign.
Law enforcement is trying to piece together the timeline of the Las Vegas shooter earlier this month. One official now says Mandalay Bay did not call police right away after there were reports of shots fired inside the hotel, but rather contacted authorities 6 minutes later. Well, now Mandalay Bay is releasing the recordings of the radio communications before the call.
Call the police. Someone's firing a gun up here. Someone's firing a rifle on the 32nd floor down the hallway.
Base to 106 Stevens. Security wants to know if you know a room.
It's at the end of the hallway. I can't tell you what room. He looked like he fired down the hallway when I got close to the door.
Investigators are still searching for a motive, and it's no secret man's best friend can provide comfort every day. But during the worst mass shooting in modern history, a trained comfort dog made an impact, lifting spirits and easing tensions. Fox 40's Allie Wolf is in studio to introduce us to Ruben. Allie.
Nikki, Ruben's one of about 130 comfort dogs from around the country. This program started through Lutheran Church Charities after Hurricane Katrina, and from the Las Vegas massacre now to the wildfires here in California, Ruben's love and comfort has been in high demand.
If you look at this face and can't help but feel your tension melt away.
People just look at golden retrievers and just go, ah.
You're not alone, but in Ruben's case, as a trained comfort dog, his job is to lighten the mood during people's darkest days. A few days ago, he arrived home from Las Vegas.
This tragedy had such a trickle effect.
Ruben was one of 18 comfort dogs with Lutheran Church Charities, deployed to help people in need following the concert massacre. He went with his handlers, James Kastner and Bonnie Sloan.
When we arrived with all the dogs, it instantly got their minds off their situation and their problem. For just a little while, they could smile, relax. You could just see the ease in their bodies when they interacted with the dogs.
From victims' families in hospital rooms to first responders and 911 dispatchers, Ruben helped. Kastner says often people open their hearts, let out their deepest emotions in his presence.
You hear the ah, you hear, and you actually see people smile. People that maybe hasn't smiled in hours or even days now are smiling.
But after arriving home in Yuba City, disaster struck.
We've transitioned from being a guest in Las Vegas, providing a service, to preparing to be the host church.
Ruben has already spent a few days helping lighten the mood as people evacuate and deal with devastation from the wildfires in Northern California. A tough job for man's best friend, one Ruben seems to do anywhere he goes.
And Ruben is one of just 2 comfort dogs here in California. This program, again, is through the Lutheran Church Charities. Ruben is based in Yuba City, and if you want to get more information on him or how to donate to help keep this program going, you can just go to our link on our website, fox40.com. Ty.
Great program. Allie, thanks so much. All right, turning our wildfire watch now down south where the Canyon Fire 2 continues to burn. Firefighters are making good progress on the flames tonight. More than 9,000 acres have burned since the fire broke out Monday morning in Orange County, and right now it's 65% contained. Full containment, though, is expected by Saturday. At least 23 homes and other buildings have been destroyed by these flames. Time now for a check on the forecast. Let's head outside. Christina, not much expected to change overnight.
No, and that is good news. And I got your comfort cat right here.
Yeah,
right? Chroma the comfort cat.
I like that. There's a ring to it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what she does for a lot of us when we're stressed out here in work.
Absolutely.
You just come out and sit with Chroma and everything's okay. And right now, all of us could use a little less stress. Let's go ahead and talk about those winds. That's the good news. We do not have to deal with winds tonight. Those winds are pretty calm, and we love to see that in Fairfield. Right now, 0. Calm conditions. That's what we need. There are still many fires burning, and you can see the complexes really are solid near Vacaville, near Santa Rosa, off to the west. That's what we're going to be most concerned with over the next couple of days. Because of that, that's where all of the smoke is tonight. From Sacramento into Elk Grove, Stockton, moderate, so not bad as far as smoke is concerned. I think some of it will drift a little bit farther to the east by morning, so you will smell some smoke, but it will clear out throughout the day. Vacaville right now, unhealthy air. Antioch, unhealthy. As you make your way into Fairfield, all those locations, keep the windows closed. It is certainly going to be one of those nights where smoke is a concern. And you can see as you push off to the west, there is a lot in the way of smoke. The Bay getting a little bit of a break at this moment, but I think as the winds shift tomorrow, that will start to change. It is nice and cool out. Look at Fairfield. It's already down to 47. And the good news is tonight, the winds are calm. The humidities are also up. You can see temperatures across the board in the mid 50s. Overall, we are cooler. A lot of minus signs there. That's what we like to see. 5 degrees cooler in Elk Grove, 3 in Stockton, 2 in Sacramento. And your humidities right now, they are up in the 30 to 40 mile per hour range. And that is good news for firefighters. So that's going to do it for me and my comfort cat out here in the backyard. See, look at that girl.
Chroma Kitty the comfort cat.
Yep, there you go.
Oof, that's perfect. All right, Christina, thank you. Well, new accusations against Harvey Weinstein days after his sexual harassment scandal first broke. Which A-list actress is now speaking out against the producer?
And nearly a dozen people file a federal lawsuit in connection to the violent August rally in Charlottesville. Coming up, why the plaintiffs say they're seeking justice.
A sunken warship missing for nearly 78 years is now in the process of being recovered. Here it is, the HMS Royal Oak. It was attacked by a German submarine during World War II. Hundreds of crew members tried to flee on a smaller boat, but they went down along with the Royal Navy battleship. The wreckage was discovered off Scotland's coast. All right, we're following new details on the Harvey Weinstein scandal. Police departments in both New York and London have now launched their investigations into sexual assault allegations against the film producer.
Meanwhile, the list of Weinstein's accusers has grown to more than a dozen. The latest actress to come forward is Rose McGowan. She says Weinstein raped her. According to the New York Times, the then 23-year-old actress reached a $100,000 settlement with the movie mogul. McGowan had spoken about being raped by the producer in the past, but never mentioned a name until last night. That's when she came forward on Twitter. Tonight, Weinstein is in a rehab facility in Arizona. His spokesperson says any allegations of rape are unequivocally denied. The city of Charlottesville is now suing several people, including militia groups that were part of the chaotic protests that left one woman dead. City leaders say they're trying to stop another deadly event from happening.
These freelancing armies brought threats and outright violence. Instead of persuasion, argument, alliances, and compromise, they instead see only power and force. And instead of democracy, they see the Wild West where might makes right.
The complaint says the event in Charlottesville tried to recruit private militia groups and encouraged attendees to, quote, prepare for war.
Also making national headlines, a fraternity at Yale is being accused of racism. This woman says she and a friend were denied access to a party at the frat house. They were allegedly told no one was being let in because the party was wrapping up. But she says as soon as she left the steps, 4 white men walked right in after her. The fraternity says they only allow people in the Yale school IDs with IDs and other guests. This is the second accusation made against that same house in the last 2 years. A man on the front lines of the firefight in Sonoma County faces his own tragedy.
How he's recovering after losing his home in the Tubbs fire, and flames in wine country separating pets from their owners. Up next, one man's chance reunion with his cat days after the fire started. The Atlas fire is continuing its destructive run across Napa and Solano counties. So far, nearly 44,000 acres have burned. It's just 3% contained tonight. Now, as the fire continues to burn, some mandatory evacuation orders in Napa County are being lifted.
Yeah, here are those orders affecting the areas of Silverado Country Club, Monticello Park, and the avenues lifted as of 5 p.m., along with the areas west of Silverado Trail between Hardman Avenue and Highway 128. Fox 40's Sarah Zendenam joining us live now in Napa County with another look at the Atlas fire. Sarah?
Well, Ty, I was in Napa County earlier today. We actually made our way over to Solano County, which is where we are right now. And you can take a look at this block here. Now, this area over here on Green Valley Road is still under a mandatory evacuation. Now, this block happens at Green Valley Road at East Ridge Drive. And you can see just all these CHP vehicles just blocking people from coming into this area. Now, that's because CAL FIRE says there is still a threat to this area because of winds that could possibly push the fire south. Now, weather has really been the biggest challenge, according to CAL FIRE. We know this entire disaster started with high winds pushing the fire in different areas. So fire officials say their hope is that the weather cooperates. Currently, the Atlas fire is burning down towards Jameson Canyon. There's less activity on the west side of the fire, east of Napa, but along the east of the fire, there's more activity. Now, there was some good news last night. Now, the wind gusts that we were expecting to see, that didn't happen. The wind wasn't as bad, according to CAL FIRE. It wasn't as bad as we thought it was going to be, which is some good news. Also some good news, more firefighters came into the area. So the combination of the weather cooperating plus more firefighters coming into the area is really giving CAL FIRE hope that that will secure the lines, and hopefully that containment number will go up from 3%. That's really the hope that CAL FIRE is holding on to right now. For now, in Solano County, Sarah Zendenam, Fox 40 News.
Sarah, thanks so much for that update. Well, a firefighter loses everything after spending days on the front line saving others. As Robert Nappy worked to evacuate people from different parts of Sonoma County, his own home burned to the ground. His property was in the direct path of the Atlas fire. And while he, his wife, and his 2-year-old daughter are safe, he says he never thought something like this would happen to him.
It's one thing to be on the helping side, and then once you're on the receiving side, it's a whole nother set of emotions that I'm not used to, obviously. I'm used to helping people, not having people want to help me.
Such heartbreaking stories coming out of this tragedy. The family is staying with relatives, and they have not decided if they will rebuild here. But for now, Nappy says he will continue to try and save other homes from meeting the same fate.
In Yuba County, evacuations are still in place for the 10,000-acre Cascade Fire. If you count up all the fires in Yuba County, more than 17,000 acres have burned, 187 homes and 178 outbuildings destroyed. Fox 40's Allie Wolf is in the newsroom. And Allie, this one proving deadly as well.
Nikki, it is. Tragically, 4 people have died in these fires in Yuba County since Sunday. Take a look. We went into the neighborhoods today, and on Douglas Way in Yuba County, only 4 of the 13 homes we drove by were still standing. We spoke to homeowners who did not evacuate. Gary Fildes and his wife Beverly say they didn't evacuate because they thought they had defensible space they created every summer. They say they know defensible space doesn't guarantee a home's safety, but it gives them a fighting chance.
I ultimately realized he knew all the time that we were just better kind of sheltering in place here.
What's happened this week is something that has never been experienced before.
And there will be a community meeting for Yuba County residents affected by the Cascade and La Porte fires tomorrow night at 6:30. It's at Browns Valley Elementary on Browns Valley Road. Evacuation orders are still in place along the Yuba-Butte County line and on La Porte Road. You can find more info about evacuations on our website, fox40.com. Nikki?
Allie, thanks so much. And flames continue to burn in Nevada County in the town of Rough and Ready. The Lobo fire has charred more than 800 acres and sparking near the Lone Lobo Trail. It's now 52% contained. All areas that were under an evacuation order have been downgraded to an evacuation warning. And in Butte County, firefighters, they are gaining the upper hand on the Cherokee fire. The flames are 65% contained. It's burned through more than 8,300 acres since sparking Sunday night. All evacuation orders and warnings in and around Oroville have been lifted.
Meanwhile, additional shelters are opening all over Northern California, including right here in Sacramento. The American Red Cross says disaster relief is now available at Cal Expo. Victims of the wildfires burning in Solano and Napa counties can immediately come to 1600 Exposition Boulevard to seek shelter. There's also still space available at the Contra Costa Community College. That is on the 2600 Mission Bell Drive in San Pablo. And what's the one thing that's home to you when everything else is gone?
Well, for many people, it's their pets, and hundreds of folks who've been in the direct line of fire this week are still missing theirs. But Fox 40's Sinceri Tonsel has one story that ended with an incredible reunion.
At least 65 animals have ended up at Sonoma County Animal Services main shelter as a result of what happened with the Santa Rosa fire, including this little guy who is still looking for his person. Others have been able to find theirs.
Oh, there's just one?
Tense moments at Sonoma County Animal Services. Ed Ratliff is looking for his cat. But this isn't any search for any lost cat on any regular day. It's 4 days after the start of the Tubbs fire, which swept through Santa Rosa, devouring almost 3,000 homes. Ratliff's in the Fountain Grove area among them.
We had about 30 seconds to get out of the house from when we found out at 2 in the morning. All I got was my car.
A Buddha statue survived the flames. He couldn't find his 6-year-old kitty companion at go time. Yeah. What's so awesome about Milo?
He's like a dog. I'm not a cat person. He's like a dog.
Okay. What does that mean to you? What does he do that's like a dog?
He comes over and pets. You call him, he comes. I think they found it on Facebook.
Since the fire, a relative in Southern California has been scouring online animal sources looking for Milo. And this afternoon, found his photograph posted by Sonoma County Animal Services, suffering from burnt paws, but very much alive.
Come on, boy.
Hoping that the community kind of connects those dots for us and with us so that people like Ed can come in and find their animal and then take them home and have a little piece of what their life used to be like still with them.
As you can see, donations have been pouring into the shelter here. They've got lots of food. What they really need right now is money or gift cards to keep up with all of the medical care for the animals. You can find out how to do that again on their website. That's theanimalshelter.org. Reporting from Santa Rosa, Sinceri Tonsel, Fox 40 News.
There is a silver lining in all this. It's the people coming forward to help their fellow man. It's really amazing. Another local police department is participating in Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
What officers in Lodi are doing to raise money for families suffering from the disease. And her mission in life was to make everyone feel beautiful inside and out. That's how a local teen describes his mom, who lost her battle with breast cancer in August. How he's remembering her, coming up next.
Coming up, we will talk about your forecast as well. Winds will stay calm tonight through most of the day tomorrow. And then we're dealing with those gusty north winds again. It's coming up after the break.
Welcome back. Police in Lodi are adding a little something extra to their patrol vehicles to help celebrate Breast Cancer Awareness Month. The traditional pink ribbon, along with a little cruiser of grapes, is being featured on the hood of the cars. Now, the patches are for sale for $10, and all proceeds go to the Cancer Kids of San Joaquin Fund. Officers are also sporting some pink badges to show their support.
And Breast Cancer Awareness Month is a time to honor and celebrate survivors. This is extremely important. What these women and men go through is very difficult, but it's also significant to show there are people that fight hard and lose the battle, leaving families heartbroken and kids without a mom.
I just miss her.
Carrie Grant may be gone, but her memory is everywhere. From her warm smile and family pictures on the refrigerator to the backyard fountain, from the blossom trees to the garden.
She made it look so nice. Either we're here or we're traveling. My mom loved to travel.
It's been a little more than 2 months since Clayton Roost lost his mom to breast cancer, a disease she battled for nearly half his life.
She just wanted to make sure that everyone knew that things were going to be okay.
Carrie fought hard, not once but twice. The first diagnosis came in 2009 and again in 2013. But she remained optimistic through it all.
She never really liked to show people how sick she was. She always wanted to show people that she was staying positive to kind of keep everyone else's hopes up.
Putting those she loved first, especially Clayton and his sister Michaela.
My mom would always say it was us three against the world because we did everything together.
Treating each day as a gift, celebrating special family moments like Clayton's high school graduation back in June, sharing her elation on Facebook.
This was the one big thing that she was very proud of, so that was a lot of fun, was graduation.
It's not hard to see life without mom isn't easy for Clayton, so he had an idea, a way for her to always be with him. And it started with this.
Hey, guys, just giving you a call.
A voicemail Clayton saved.
Or you can leave. So,
The final 4 words.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Forever with him.
I just went in and saved it and then trimmed it down to this portion. And one of her good friends just blew it up for me, and I got it tattooed.
Making her love, always within reach.
I bring her everywhere I go.
We want to thank Clayton for sharing his mom's story with us. He said hundreds attended her celebration of life service, which shows just how much Carrie was loved in this community. And if you missed any of our stories, you can find them on our website, fox40.com. We have all of them posted there right now. All right, let's get a check at the forecast. Christina is joining us now.
And we just had an update. So I rushed over here. So. Okay, they've actually made the Fire Weather Watch now a red flag warning. Okay. So they're already saying, okay, look, this is going to be bad. So we're going to start rolling the ball on this and basically be prepared. So let's go ahead and check this out. So take a look. The winds right now are calm. So tonight is not the night that we really have to be concerned with the firefight. I really think tonight will help firefighters. We may be able to see containment at least increase in some locations. It is calm right now, and even as you make your way towards the coast, it's also very, very weak as far as winds are concerned. But that is not the case tomorrow night. In fact, here's a look at Futurecast. I just want to show you this real quick as we take a look tomorrow morning. So I'm starting it at 8 a.m. Not so bad. Really through the day, at times winds to about 10 miles an hour. But again, not going to be a major issue. It's tomorrow night. Here we are at 11:45. And really, as fate would have it, those winds are just going to be strong right over these fires. So I'm talking about the fire in Sonoma County, Napa County, also in Solano County. So we're talking about the Tubbs fire, the Partridge fire, and also the Atlas fire. It will continue overnight. Those winds will stay steady, 20 to 30 miles an hour with gusts maybe as high as 45 miles an hour. That's certainly not what we need to see out of this. It will continue until mid-morning into the early afternoon, and then those winds will finally start to calm. Sunday looks much calmer, but tomorrow night is going to be pretty critical, it looks like, in the firefight. All day today, it was a fire weather watch, excuse me. It is now a red flag warning. Goes into effect tomorrow night at 11 p.m. It will last until 8 p.m. on Saturday. So that will be the crucial time period really in the firefight. If they can get some lines, if they can get containment, that will help. So it's no longer a fire weather watch. I didn't have time to change this graphic, but everything else is still the same. It's late Friday into Saturday. Those north winds 20 to 30 miles an hour with gusts as high as 45 miles an hour. Smoke is obviously going to stay very thick throughout the entire weekend, specifically near the fire and then pushing south into the Bay Area. Here's a look at your current AQI. So air quality, not so bad in the valley just yet, but we are seeing very unhealthy air through Solano County as you make your way towards the coast. This, though, will creep a little bit farther to the east as we head through tomorrow morning. So I do think some locations like Lodi, Galt, Stockton, Modesto, even Elk Grove may smell a little smoky tomorrow, but it's going to clear out through the day. So I'm not saying you got to cancel any of those outdoor events just yet. I think the smoke will actually improve, but of course that means the Bay Area is going to see most of it and deal with that unhealthy air tomorrow afternoon and evening. So the air quality alert that's in effect for southern portions of the valley, it's only until noon tomorrow. So that tells you after that, a lot of that smoke is going to clear out. So
May start off a little smoky again, and then things will clear. As far as temperatures, it's nice and cool, and that will be on firefighters' side. We also have higher humidities at this point, anywhere from about 30 to 50%. That is good news. We've got a nice little trough over the state and over portions of the West Coast. That is bringing us cooler conditions. But again, it's not the temperatures that we're fighting against. It's really just going to be the wind. So here is your forecast. 70s in the valley tomorrow, the same for the foothills, 50s in the Sierra. Here's your 7-day forecast. So smoke the story early tomorrow, then it starts to clear out. Then those winds tomorrow night, and it will continue into Saturday. That will certainly be another critical time period. And Jim, I think we've said that several times this week. It's hard to keep telling people, yes, those winds are back again, but that's exactly what's going to happen.
So high school football tomorrow night, you said smoky early, but then clearing out?
I think it'll be just fine. Yeah, I don't see why they couldn't get the games off tomorrow.
Yeah, I know probably around Napa, that area, there'll probably be some games canceled, but
those games for sure, yes.
Sacramento, we should be okay.
Yeah, I think Sacramento South and even into the foothills should be fine.
All right, final quarter, of course, tomorrow night at 11 o'clock. Yep. That's why we talk about these things. All right, let's get to the break. And when we come back, this baseball game tonight was awesome. And here's one of the biggest plays of the game. Jose Lobaton, watch his foot, off the bag and tagged out. Oh. You got to be kidding me. Picked off first base when you're down a run late? Man, that was a game, and we have highlights straight ahead.
And coming up tomorrow morning at 9:45, we're getting a taste of custom cupcakes. Cupcake Magic Bakery shows us their latest potion just in time for Halloween. Welcome back. Jam-packed as usual, but Jim, will start with the Kings.
The Kings and the Clippers, Staples Center in L.A. tonight. This nonsense, this preseason stuff, it's almost over. Season starts for real on Wednesday at the Golden One Center. That's when it gets serious. These are just random highlights I picked. They don't try to tell the game story. Willie Cauley-Stein, 10.7 rebounds. He likes that little free throw line jumper. Look who's burying threes. Zach Randolph, not a good career three-point shooter, but 14 points for him tonight and a couple of triples. Blake Griffin's not a big three-point shooter anyway. That's a nice pass right there. Cross court, found him wide open in the corner. Griffin tonight buried the three ball. Buddy Hield made 3 out of 5 threes for the Kings, scored 12. How about Bogdanovich leaking out a little bit, left-handed lay-in, nice, 5 of 9 from the floor, scored 13. And Dave Yeager's got to find minutes for this kid from Kansas. His Frank Mason, he can play. I mean, he is really good. Bogdanovich, nice stroke here on the three ball, and then he turned his ankle. Don't know how serious it is. Probably more on that tomorrow. George Hill, he tweaked his groin, so that's all good. Man, oh man, are you kidding me? Get more guys hurt early on. 104-87 final in that game tonight. As we said, one more for the Kings, preseason style, and then they open on Wednesday against the Rockets at the Golden One Center. Fun tonight in Washington, D.C. Game 5, the Cubs and the Nationals. Here we go. And this thing was fun from the beginning until the end. I'm telling you, this kid can hit the ball. I don't know what's going on, but he can definitely get the job done. This guy did not get the job done. They called on Max Scherzer in a one-run game, and he just absolutely got lit up in this game. Scherzer could not do anything right. He actually hit a guy to bring a run in. He was not Max Scherzer tonight. He was anything but that. Can't blame that on Dusty Baker, though, can you? Although they'll probably try, or you can't blame this on him either. Jason Worth in left field whiffed on that thing, and then there was a pickoff at first base. 9-8. Cubs win. They play the Dodgers and LCS. Good Thursday night football game tonight. The Eagles 4-1 at Carolina 4-1. Halftime 10-10 the score. Early third. Carson Wentz to Zach Ertz, and the two-point conversion made it 18-10 for Philadelphia. Wentz went 16 for 30, 222 yards and 3 touchdowns. One more TD throw. Right here, short throw, big run. They led the game 28-16 at that point. The Panthers did give it a shot late. Cam Newton to Christian McCaffrey here. 1-yard touchdown throw in the fourth made it 28-23. But that was the final. Eagles are 5-1, 28-23 final tonight. Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott came up a big loser in court today. The NFL, of course, wants to suspend him 6 games for that domestic violence incident. Well, today, an appeals court said the NFL can do that. They can suspend him because they ruled that his lawsuit and injunction against the league are invalid. You practically need a law degree to do sports these days. You know that? Of course, Elliott can refile his lawsuit, so this mess is not over yet. Titans wide receiver, the guy from Tennessee, probably their best receiver. This is Rashard Matthews. He says he is ready to quit football over the national anthem protest controversy. He tweeted to Channel 4 TV in Nashville that if the NFL forces him to stand for the anthem, he will quit. He did take down that tweet pretty quickly. He's been staying in the locker room during the anthem. Be interesting to see how that plays out. And it might not make any difference anyway, because Sean Diddy Combs has tweeted this. I did have a dream to own an NFL team, but now, he says, my dreams are sell me the NFL now. So there are no worries in our future as far as pro football is concerned, because P. Diddy is going to buy the whole darn league and straighten things out. Final quarter high school football show. We mentioned it with Christina a couple of minutes ago. Friday night, 11 to 11:30, right after the late news. Full half hour, highlight scores. We got it all covered, and we will cover this game big time. Our fan favorite game. This is the one that was voted on by fans at fox40.com. We do it every week. A list of 6 games, and we let you pick the fan favorite game. This one is Rockland at Del Oro. Those are 2 big-time programs in the best football league in the section this year, a foothill league. And Del Oro already has 2 losses in the league. Rockland has 1, so Del Oro needs to win that game badly. But I guarantee you that Rockland, the Thunder, will have something to say about that. What a great nickname for high school sports teams. The Thunder? Yeah,
well, they're not
awesome.
the Fighting Zebras, though,
They're
right,
not,
Jim?
no, they're not the Fighting Zebras, but they're a close second.
We're the Fighting Zebras?
The Fighting's Lincoln.
Lincoln.
Oh.
Lincoln, yeah.
Lincoln. He
That's
just likes
awesome,
the Fighting
too.
Zebras.
I do. I do like the Zebras.
So Diddy buys the NFL, Goodell doesn't make it.
No, he's
Goodell's gone, yeah.
Jay-Z's taken over.
There you go.
I think Diddy would actually make a difference if that actually came true.
There might be some fun now.
Can't stop